What we've got here is failure to communicate.
Look, up in the sky, it's a bird.
Football is a 20th century technological struggle.
I've eaten a river of liver and an ocean of fish.
I would not object to
The hanger curveball, high fiber, good scotch.
Just a bit outside.
Hello everyone, this is Benj watching. I'm Kevin Benjamin. We're in beautiful Tampa, a little overcast. It's about 85 degrees, beautiful afternoon. What should be a packed house behind me at Steinbrenner Field during spring training is empty because everything is shut down due to the corona situation. Now, I grew up going to Yankees spring training games at Fort Lauderdale Stadium, watching Reggie Jackson, and after he hit those 3 home runs in the 1977 World Series, when I was 10 years old, the following spring, I think we lived about 15 miles away from Fort Lauderdale Stadium in Coral Springs. The only time I ever skipped school in my life. Skipped school, took a bus, hitchhiked once for 4 days straight to Fort Lauderdale Stadium to watch Reggie Jackson after he hit those 3 home runs in the 77 World Series. It was spring training 1978. It was the most incredible. I jumped the fence. I got there at like 8 o'clock in the morning. There's no security like now. I was 10 years old. I'm 52 now. So 42 years ago. And there was no security at the spring training facilities. I jumped the fence and I went straight to the bleachers, hid, kind of watched the players come out. When I saw Reggie come out, went right up to him, jumped the barrier on the field, went right up to him and shook his hand. There was no security after me. It was great. And I talk about how awesome spring training is in my new book on Amazon, The Stigma of Sports in Florida. You know, we have the Tampa Bay Rays and the Florida Marlins, and the Marlins have won 2 World Series. The Rays have been in a World Series. Major League Baseball does not work in the state of Florida. Spring training works in the state of Florida. Major League Baseball attendance in the state of Florida is non-existent. They should merge the 2 teams, play in Orlando, play in Tampa, play in Miami. There you go. But the fact that there's no games going on right now, spring training, it's very upsetting. I go to 1 or 2 spring training games a year. There's nothing like sitting on a Tuesday afternoon at 1 o'clock at this beautiful stadium when I watch Derek Jeter. And the stories you could tell. The spring training games are much more fun than any of the games going to the Rays or the Marlins. Now, I've been to Wrigley Field, thought that was awesome, but I've been to Tropicana Field, and you take Wrigley Field, and you take Tropicana Field, and Tropicana Field is all the way over there. It's the complete opposite. So I'm a baseball fan, I'm a baseball purist, I just want to see the games come back, but if they do come back, say they come back on April 1st, that means they need at least 2 weeks just to have spring training so they can figure out their pitching staff, who to bring up from the major leagues. There's guys that have been hurt. They're not working out right because they don't have the facilities at their homes. The players apparently are still in town and they're rentals. So as soon as spring training says we're coming back, then maybe the next day the players will be able to. The quarantine, who the hell knows? We don't know what the deal is, if fans are even going to be able to come back. But I do know one thing. Baseball sucks when it's not there. So why don't they just do this? Why don't they take, okay, the home run derby was awesome during the All-Star festivities, okay? Back in the 50s and 60s, they used to have home run derby on black and white TV. You had Hank Aaron versus like Willie Mays, Mickey Mantle versus Willie McCovey, black and white, the 2 players just going at it, trying to go deep. There's, I think there was somebody throwing BP type pitching to them. They had an umpire calling. I think he had like 3 or 4 strikes. I can't remember the exact rules, but Why can't Mike Trout and Pete Alonso, the two major league leaders in home runs last year in each league, just face off with no crowd and just for a made-for-on-TV event? Because if they don't have baseball, we're talking about football. I am about 250 yards from Raymond James Stadium, where the Bucs play. And Tom Brady is going to be playing there in the fall. Hopefully this will be finished, this Corona thing will be finished, and we'll be able to see Tom Brady play at Raymond James Stadium over there. But if there's no football, I don't know what I'm going to do. I can live without baseball, I can live without NBA, I can live without hockey, I cannot live without NFL. So I'm just praying to God, okay, is there a virgin we can throw in a volcano to make this go away yet? Any virgins out there? Maybe you should offer up your services to the volcano to end this. I'm kidding, of course. I want to see baseball back. It sucks not having spring training to keep track of. Yeah, NFL free agency with Tom Brady signing with the Bucs and all that, it's been very fun. But quite honestly, if baseball starts and if baseball season come April or whatever doesn't start, and we got to wait, say, to the end of June for baseball, it's going to really suck. It's going to really be bad. So all I can say is hang in there. That was a very loud motorcycle. Keep your social distancing. And I want to remind everybody that this is a perfect time to go on Amazon and buy my new book. It's not really too new because I had it during the holidays. The Stigma of Sports in Florida. It's basically why everybody outside of Florida hates our teams, players, and coaches. Okay? The 72 undefeated Dolphins, unless you're a Dolphins fan, everybody hates them. You know, unless you're a Florida State Seminole, you hate Deion Sanders, primetime Neon Deion. And unless you're, a diehard hockey fan, why are you going to a hockey game in Florida? I talk about all this, the NBA, Miami Heat, LeBron, all this. We have no sports right now, so go on Amazon, check out my new book, The Stigma of Sports in Florida. You can get ebook or paperback, download it, read it on the toilet for all I care. If you want an autographed copy, shoot me off a text. I'll sign it to my good bud, or whoever you are. Maybe you'll be able to sell it on eBay in 10 years. You know, you could probably make $5 or $10 off my autograph. Anyway, that's it for now. Again, I want to thank Mike Neighbors, one of my old friends from college, who is not only the Saints reporter, but he's also a Bucs reporter for Pewter Report, and he's the main Saints sideline reporter. And he told me, why don't you use, instead of just Benj, how about Benj watching? A spoof on binge watching. So Mike, I appreciate it with my heart. Gonna start calling it Benj watching. So thank you for tuning in to Benj watching with me, Kevin Benjamin, outside Steinbrenner Field here in beautiful Tampa, Florida. Wish you could be here. Stay safe, everybody. Wash your hands. See ya.